Hi everyone, this is Koinzell here. So in today's video, I wanted to do a guide on how to do 100% burst uptime on Itto. What are the stats, the builds, what are the weapons you can use in order to reach the 100% burst uptime even against a single boss enemy like the Geovishap. Because if you do it in domains, it's actually pretty easy to get your energy. Because there's going to be many different mobs that you can defeat and they'll give you energy particles upon their death. But I'll do a showcase here specifically against Geovishap. We'll simulate C0. Why I say simulate C0? Because I have C1 right now. But if you do the combo correctly on C0, it wouldn't really make a difference between 0 and C1. What I mean is, I shouldn't say that. Now C1, if you C1, the difference between C0 and C1 is a different combo. And C1's combo does better damage. That's the difference. But I can go use C0's combo to simulate C0 even if I have C1. That's what I'm trying to say here. Okay. This is as per the analysis that I've done pre-release. And you guys can check out the video. They have a lot of information there as well. Okay, now before right after I do the C0 showcase, I will do the C1 showcase as well. There's really not going to be much of a difference in terms of the burst uptime. The only difference is really the combo. And also gear wise, everything else is going to remain the same when I do this 100% burst uptime guide. And following that, I'll just show a quick look at the artifact domain. In fact, the artifact domain can allow us to go lower on our energy. You don't really need such a high energy requirement when you're farming artifacts. I'll show you guys that. So, I don't know about you guys, but Itto is really OP as per my math guide. So I hope you guys can appreciate that. Although I did a math guide saying how OP he is, right? He really is upon release. Okay? Now, let's look, without further ado, let's look at the showcase itself. Should I call it a showcase? It's not really a showcase because bear in mind, it's not a damage showcase. We are doing it against Geovishap who has like 60% geo resistance. So not the best mob to showcase damage of Itto. It's really more about how to achieve the 100% burst uptime. Okay, I hope that's clear. Now, let's move on to the burst uptime showcase itself. So this is the burst showcase. You'll notice that my flat slot is using Rosaria because I like the crit rate that she gives, and there's also another reason why, because of the weapon, and I'll talk about that later. Okay, so before you continue, I just want to say that this the rotation that I'm doing here follows the pure defense rotation in the Albedo series of videos that I have done. Okay. A bit unfortunate here, he pushed me out of the region of Albedo's E, so I had to dash in here. And what happens is that we took too much time, we cast the elemental skill and we did a dash, and our normal attack did not reset. You'll see this shortly. Or rather, our normal attack reset. Sorry. Okay, so you notice that all we needed was a Rosaria E and a Gorou E to get our energy back. And as part of the rotation, we would do that anyway, because the next step we will be using Albedo's E, then we will be using Rosaria's Burst and Itto's. In fact, the order is a bit different. We should have saved Rosaria's E till after we use the we should save her E to be right before the burst so that she can give even more crit rate. But I wanted to quit. I jump ahead to using her E because I want to show you guys that you can easily get the full energy back. Okay, you can easily get the full energy back. Now let's see how the setup is like. So this is a setup that 100% guarantees that your burst uptime is always there. even against a mob like Geovishap where you don't really get much energy from him. Okay, so talents 199, Constellation C6. This is my crit rate and crit damage. Energy recharge 213. Because we were using Favonius Wobble and we were using an ER sense. Now Itto, R1 weapon. This is my CRCD and my ER. My ER is 153.8%. I'm not using an ER sense, and I'll show you guys shortly. Weapon is R1 signature weapon. Sense, we are using a defense sense. I'm getting ERs from substats. 10, 10, 10 from each artifact at 1, 20, 20 on 1. And again, like I said, although this is C1, I have simulated C0 combo earlier. In fact, we did an M4 instead of M3 because of him pushing us. Talents 999. I like his pose. Albedo's stats don't really matter, but let me just show. Because he doesn't matter in the energy per se. I mean, he does give, but it's not high. And these are Rosaria stats. ER is 187.6, and it's Favonius Lance. Now, this is the reason why I'm using Rosaria, because I don't have the other Favonius weapons built, like Favonius Codex, Favonius Swords. If you have those builds, feel free to use any of those flat slots that can work, as long as they have a sub DPS capability, and they with Favonius and a decent enough crit rate, they will be able to help you generate energy. This is a very F2P friendly option. Okay, when I eventually get my Itto to C2, I was testing out whether I really need Favonius. If I don't need Favonius, then my Rosaria will be going back to using Husk was fine, and Gorou will use Allergy for the end. These are my artifacts, ER artifacts along with the Favonius for the 187.6 ER, C6, 7, 10, 12, although those don't really matter, the talents per se. So I hope this is clear on the C0 showcase, how it works, and it's very straightforward. You will be able to get 100% uptime by using 2 Favonius weapons. But in the first place, for Gorou himself, Favonius is a very good choice because there's no defense bow. There's no bows with defense substats. So Favonius is a very good option for him, especially for F2P player. Yeah. Okay, now let's look at the C1 combo itself. Okay, now this is the C1 combo, and you'll see that it pretty much has the same ability to do the 100% burst uptime, just that the damage is slightly higher. Actually, not slightly higher. See, there's a difference, noticeable difference. About 10%. So you notice that for C1 is very straightforward. Cast once you finish using your burst, just cast your elemental skill and just go straight into Kesa. So C1 also makes your rotations much simpler. So after the first round of Kesa has ended, you do N3, 3 normal attacks, and Kesa again. And one more N1 with Kesa. Why? Because his M4 is too slow, and you can't directly dash cancel it, because remember, when you dash, his normal attacks combo is not reset. Okay? And this is just nice. A bit unfortunate here, when we cast our Gorou's E, it did not trigger the it did not crit, so it did not trigger the Favonius Wobble effect. But you'll see that after hitting just a few hits, we did manage to get our energy, so it's back to full. And the reason why my Gorou didn't crit is also because my Gorou crit is a bit too low as compared to Rosaria. And the main reason is because my Gorou's how should I put it? My Gorou's artifacts are terrible. There are a few artifacts that do not even have crit rate. So that being said, all of the stats here are the same. Let me just quickly show. Everything is really the same. The only difference is the combo that we were using. And like I said, for my Gorou, the CR can definitely be higher. I just haven't optimized its artifacts. So if you get your CR to be a slightly higher, together with a Favonius Warbow, it can provide a very reliable source of energy. And obviously a R5 Favonius, I'll try to get at least a R3 so that your percentage chance is 80% to get the energy particles. Okay, so this is a showcase to show how to do a 100% burst uptime even against someone like Geovishap. Let's take a quick look at the new the Husk artifact domain, the Husk 4-piece Husk artifact domain, or the Clam artifact domain, and we see that with a lot more mobs, right, the energy requirement, especially on Itto, is much lower. And by the way, Rosaria gives crit rate which covers the reduced crit rate that you will have from getting more ER. So that's one point to note. Okay, so this is the artifact domain showcase. You'll notice that I'm using Kokomi, not Rosaria, because like I said, you don't need so much energy in the artifact domain. So I don't need a Favonius weapon. Kokomi here is not using a Favonius weapon. She's just using her usual healing stuff. Just to heal up, that's all. And obviously to provide sub DPS, or rather hydro off-field enablement or application. Okay. Sorry, I couldn't resist using his treasure deck just for style. Okay, let me just show the stats. Don't really need to show Kokomi or even Albedo per se, but it's the exact same. Itto is the one that's different. You'll see the ER is only 111%, and obviously our crit rate is high. Crit damage is higher. Gorou is slightly different because we are using allergy for the end. So like I said, right, once you go into artifact domain, you don't need the Favonius weapons. My Kokomi is definitely not using Favonius Codex. I don't have Favonius Codex built. So yep. So in terms of farming artifact domains, the ER requirement is always lower. If you're doing someone like Geovishap, the harder type of content, right, using double Favonius weapons, it will be a very, very good F2P choice for a C0R1. Now, let's go back to just a quick look on C2 Itto. So for C2 Itto, he does get 18 energy if you can have if using a triple geocom. And although the cooldown is also decreased, the cooldown is decreased so much that if you think about the normal type team rotation, it will take longer than his cooldown. So I do believe that the energy requirements on C2 will be lower, but I have to test it out first, and I'll do a separate video on that. Because right now, I just want to show for C0/C1 how to get a 100% burst uptime, which is much easier compared to C2. Okay, unless you want to match the cooldown, then maybe we will still need Favonius weapons. But either way, I've already shown the method to achieve this full 100% burst uptime with a nice smooth rotation. Alright, so thanks everyone for watching. I hope this video has been helpful to you guys. If you like the content, like the video, and please subscribe for more. And I'm really glad that all my math worked out accordingly. Yeah. So remember to subscribe for more math content for other future characters as well. This has been a very good proof of my math. Alright, thanks and bye.